Clarence asked me if I would do this, my first thought was Nilsa probably should be the one doing this, and maybe she'll have you add some thoughts, because Nilsa has been, I don't know how many years that you have done it in a row, but quite a few years, and so she's really been the one that has really been faithful in reading through the Bible every year. I have read the Bible in the past, through the Bible in a year on numerous occasions, but not a steady year by year kind of a thing. But did last year and have started this year as well. And looking at chronological order for that, which I like. And so I've made it through the first 11 chapters of Genesis, and then they take you out of Genesis and place the book of Job in that time frame before they continue you on with Genesis. And then you see later on, you'll be reading Chronicles and Kings at the same time. In the Gospels, you'll be reading those same accounts, and then you feel like, didn't I just read this? Yeah, I did 3 times. But the nuances that the gospel writers wrote about, the things that they included that the others did not. Interesting, and a good way to approach it. How many are currently doing go through the Bible in a year? Okay, some. All right. So that's the encouragement, I think, this morning, is to consider that. And Lori, one of the first words out of her mouth this morning was discipline. And I find that is one of the things that I enjoy most about reading it through the Bible. It keeps me disciplined. It makes me disciplined, and discipline begets discipline in other areas of our lives. Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 9, says, "Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we an imperishable. So I do not run aimlessly. I do not box as one beating in the air, but I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be qualified." You think, well, what if Paul preaches but doesn't live it out? What a tragedy that is. And so it does. It brings that discipline into your life. It may be hard for you. Some days you might get 3 or 4 days behind, and now I got to catch up, and so you're faced with that. So, but the discipline, it helps me. And I think it carries over into other areas of my life. If I'm disciplined in this area, I'm also cognizant of the need to be disciplined in other areas. So that's, I guess, in the long and short of it for me is I find it be very useful. It keeps me in the Word. It gives me time every day in the Word, and as you read, you may be reading 3 chapters out of Genesis, and it gives you time to look at those passages more carefully. And how many times have we all said, "Well, I read this 1,000 times, but I didn't see that this time until this time," and that happens, and that's good. It gives you that time to kind of say, "Oh my goodness, what is he really saying here?" And so that for me has been very helpful. Nilsa, I don't know if you want to add anything to that as to your experience doing this year after year.
I haven't read as Mom and Lori I did start writing down when I started the Bible, but it's probably been about 7 years, and I missed 1 year in between, and I got to get back. But I've done chronological, I've done the way you have the Psalms, Proverbs, Old Testament, New Testament. This year I had a program from Ryan's church, Alliance Bible Church in Boone, and it starts with Genesis. I think it's just through the Bible from the beginning to the end. So, but it has like 5 days at the end that I don't read anything. But maybe that's, maybe catch-up time, or, you know, you might miss a day, and then the next day, I don't know.
The French would call that being on holiday.
But it has been very rewarding. I feel like it, like Chuck says, consistent with something. I feel like I need it daily. I do it at night usually, because for me, I'm usually busy throughout the day. I like at night to kind of wind down and read, you know, the Bible, and then I feel like I go to sleep and I'm just, you know, at peace, knowing that I, you know, was reading God's word at the end of the day. So it has helped me to get closer to the Lord. And the longer I read the Bible, the longer, or the more I see God's love towards all of us, and how his heart yearns for everyone to know him, to know Jesus.